Hi, welcome back to the Family Collective. I'm Diane. This is my husband Neal, and we're going to talk to you today a little bit about what's happening as we're all headed back to work, all headed back to our lives. What's it going to be like for us? Are we going to be living in this constant state of worry and anxiety, or are we going to be walking in what we're supposed to in this season?
Yes. When you consider the world today, it's easy to see the varied threats to peace and the advancement of fear all around us. Some of these threats fall into the health category. Some of them are financial or environmental, ideological, or even political.
Yeah. In fact, we told a story in a peace conference that we did once about a couple that had written to their pastor and said that they were looking for the place in the world at that time that they could live in this constant state of nirvana. And they finally settled in the Falkland Islands in 1981. But in April of 1982, that paradise was taken over as Great Britain and Argentina had a territorial fight. And we know that there's no such place where you can just go to live in constant peace. That there's things that we need to do with our own lives and our own situations that cause us to walk in that state. And how do we live in that place of freedom?
Yes. First, we need to guard our thoughts. As the old computer saying is, garbage in, garbage out. The issue is, how do we do that in our daily lives? If we embrace messages of fear or destruction or threat on a daily basis, it overwhelms us. It's important that we stay informed, but there's something to keeping our lives in balance. So making sure we're thinking about what we're putting in our minds on a daily basis.
Right. What we're watching. We've talked about this before. If you are watching the news channel 24/7, there's a chance that you're going to be fearful about what's going on. So fill that, with things that inform you, but also things that cause you to be peace, and that's different for different people. Another thing that we want to do is what we call attack the negative giants in the land. Choose life. Speak that over yourselves and your family.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Our speech is a great indication of what we have going on the inside. So when we have speech that is encouraging or edifying or affirming, it allows us to have peace in our life. To the opposite, to the extent that we're focusing on other things, it's going to create those things coming out of our heart.
Right. Our words are powerful.
Yeah.
And so it's important to remember to know. There's an example out there that IKEA did not so many years ago where they had a group of students speak life over a plant and then just speak garbage. It was actually on bullying over a plant. And after a short period of time, one of those plants was flourishing, and one of them actually had really gone into distress. It's so important.
Yeah.
And then the third thing, we're talking about resting.
Yeah.
One of the examples I often give my clients is, a lot of life, we're over our head. We're what I call in the deep end of the pool. If you're in the deep end of the pool, we could tread water till we're almost exhausted, but we can also just float.
Yeah.
And there are things that we're in control of, and there's things that we're not in control of.
Yeah, and I think one of the best things that came out of this time period is we all had to have some forced downtime, where we weren't running around. And so I think it's important to remember that as our schedules go back to something that we're careful about taking time to recharge, to slow down, and to recognize those things that are going on around us.
Yeah, definitely. So we just want to say, take a look at that, what's happening for you and for your family going forward, and remember to really speak life, rest, and guard what you're thinking as we're headed into the next season.
Yes.
Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.